There are a few things in my life that I have always known to be true about myself. For example, one thing I've always known is that I would have locks. I just grew up knowing that one day I was gonna lock my hair and that would be that. Another thing, I always knew I would live overseas. Again, for some reason, I just knew that I would not be living in America at some point. Thirdly, and the point of this video, is I've always known that I love plants, I love herbs, and that I would be really knowledgeable about herbs and plants one day. That I would have my own garden and that I would maintain it myself. And today marks the beginning of that journey. Learning how to make things from scratch, learning how to grow my own things, it gives me this sense of connection to what God has made. And then I want plants on the side, plants on the side. If you are new to my channel, my name is Alyssia. I am 30 years old. I live in Central Asia with my 2-year-old, my 10-month-old, and my husband. And look at this view. Our house is somewhere in this general area. All right, so we got quite the to-do list today. I am actually driving to the market, believe it or not, willingly. So I need to get jars to put all of the dried herbs that our friends brought in for us into. I need to get soda bottles because I have kombucha that is ready to go into them for the second ferment. Oh, I also need honey because I'm going to attempt to make lilac syrup and elderberry syrup. Lastly, for my final trick, me and ChatGPT are going to plan out our entire herb, fruit, vegetable garden for the backyard and then get that started today. I don't know how it's going to work out, but we're going to do our best. Welcome to the vlog. You know what, Alyssia? You are capable of doing anything you put your mind to. The Lord is with you, mighty warrior. Actually, where are we going first? I think we're going to go to the farthest place first and then make our way back. Lord, help me. Okay, I fear the day literally ran away from us. Driving here is so exhausting. I found these jars to put dried herbs in. I don't know. I feel like these are pretty ugly, but they're prettier than this. So I have this huge bag of dried elderberry, but obviously that's not gonna fit in here. Am I thinking too much about this? I don't know. I feel like when it comes to storing things and how things look, it's just really easy on my brain when it's all like one cohesive look. Everything else on my to-do list, like making the elderberry syrup, making the lilac syrup, and planning out my garden, we're going to move to tomorrow. I started the day finally being able to check making kombucha and elderberry syrup off of my to-do list. I remember the first time I saw someone with a SCOBY in their fridge and I about gagged and silently thought to myself, nothing is that serious that you have to grow bacteria. And even though I'm still kind of gagging, I do get the hype. It's a fascinating thing to make something delicious and healthy with your own hands. God gave us all these raw ingredients in the earth, and it's fun to experiment with them and see what turns out. I'm definitely in the experimentation phase of this journey, however, and by no means an expert. Houston, we have a problem. I don't think this is what was supposed to happen. Trial and error. A lot of times I question myself, like, why am I making this from scratch? Why do I want to grow my own herbs and vegetables? And in this age of doing everything for social media, I genuinely never in my life want to be that person. So I'm always evaluating, am I doing this for me? Is this something I truly believe in? And what it comes down to is I just feel like God put so many things in creation, so many beautiful, useful things. And for me, learning how to make things from scratch, learning how to grow my own things, it gives me this sense of connection to what God has made. It forces me to slow down and consider just everything that He's put in our path to utilize. When everything is at your fingertips for convenience, it's very easy to overlook what God has given us in creation. Obviously, you can be genuinely thankful for the medicine He has already made in pill bottles. Like, I am so grateful for some ibuprofen. But at the same time, learning about something like arnica, which is a natural homeopathic remedy that comes from a plant, that helps with aches and pains and things like that. And just thinking about that, like, God was very intentional in His design with nature, plants, medicine. Like, He designed the earth in a way that is compatible for humans. And I do feel like science and technology, without the consideration of God, has removed our connection to a degree from that. And I love the feeling of being intentional about connecting back to that. But also a disclaimer, if you are anybody, so often it's shoved down other people's throats, and I don't like that either. Like, I am just sharing my life, my thoughts, my experiences, and if you relate, you relate. And if you don't, great. Maybe you can just enjoy the journey along the way. But this is just my journey and what I've got going on over here. Got this valerian root, and it's supposed to be really good for helping you sleep. And I just think that's so incredible how this literally can be grown and found in nature. Like natural sleep medication, just plucked off a leaf. I personally find that so fascinating, and I just want to learn everything I can about things like that. Okay, final thing on the to-do list today, for now. I have all of this yard that I need to take pictures of for ChatGPT to tell me where to plant what. Okay, so we have basically all of this. I'm going to leave a pathway right here, and then I want plants on the side. And then if you walk up here, plants here, and here is our backyard. So we have these like bed places that are basically made to grow things. I just don't know where to put what based on like where the sun is. Also, right there is where our chickens are gonna go as soon as we get them. So I'm trying to plan out this space and get the most out of it as possible. These are the seeds that I have. And then I also got this whole thing of medicinal herbs. Let's get a good thumbnail first. I feel like I look like an advertisement. Starting to get a little overwhelmed. You saw the space that I have. Like, this is over 50 things of seeds, which all have like hundreds of seeds in them. So where's the space? And obviously you don't have to do everything at once, but then once you start doing something, how do you stop? Like, it's going to keep growing. When I was doing all of my research, there's many videos that like compiled a list of essential medicinal herbs, and that's what I went with because there really are a lot of options, which makes me just want so much land to just grow everything. But then I also get excited to support other growers and farmers and things like that, people who herbalists who grow their own. I don't think it's my responsibility to grow everything. I just want to get practice doing it, especially because things like lemongrass are not available here. Brussels sprouts, not available here, which may mean I actually can't grow them really well, but we'll see. Because I got a little greenhouse and we're gonna make that work too. I am going to send you pictures of all of the seeds that I have and all of the yard space that I have, period. Can you give me a plan on what I should plant where and at what time of the year, period. Oh my gosh, ChatGPT just finished making my guide. And I asked it to create an image because I'm a visual person, and look what it just did. Like, that is exactly what I was picturing in my brain. I've been reading a lot about burdock because we have a bunch just growing wild and naturally in our yard, and I feel like it would be such a waste to just dig it up. So I want to know what it's for, how to harvest it, when to harvest it. Also, we have a lot of plantain, which when I was researching, Augie is literally eating dirt. Augie! When I was looking up like which herbs are the best to plant, plantain always came up as a really good one, and we just have it growing naturally around here. So I'm trying to read up on those so that I know how to best use them.
That one's right there.
Starting my garden has truly been a lifelong dream. Although I have no idea what I'm doing and I really don't have the time with 2 children who constantly need my attention, I'm thankful to have gotten over the hardest part of any new adventure, which is simply just starting. I honestly don't know how it will turn out. I didn't do a lot of things properly or according to the instructions, but I enjoyed every single moment being out here in my little garden haven. I feel the same way I did when I locked my hair, the same way I do living overseas. I feel like it's just a part of me, like I am most myself, most at home, most at peace, out in the sun, touching some dirt.
I can't go through the motions, I can't go through the motions. How am I supposed to do this now? Say we went out strolling, say we went out strolling, say I went and told them how.
I'm in a season of turning the things that were once one days into today. One day I'll learn to sew turned into today I'm learning to sew. And now my dream of one day starting a garden turned into today. It's so much easier to let life happen to me on time lapse and then months later realize how much time has actually passed. My greatest fear is not filling that time with habits, hobbies, and skills that produce a life I'm proud of. Instead of just letting life happen to me, I really want to be an active participant with the hand of God, shaping the woman, mom, and friend that I'm called to be. So yes, on the surface, I may just be starting a garden, but in reality, I'm setting in motion a future for myself that I can look back on with a sense of accomplishment. I encourage you to consider the dreams and aspirations you have and evaluate if you are taking steps towards them or if you're letting them collect dust on the shelf of one day.
Every interactor, when there are things behind things behind things, and there are rings within rings within rings.
I think I am gonna wait until Tyler gets home to figure out a better watering system because this is not it. I feel like I'm undoing all of the work I just did by just dumping the water on it. Something's not right. So I'm gonna wait till he gets home. We'll put our brains together. Apparently there's a hookup for a hose somewhere back here, but I don't know. I'm just so excited that I finally got this part started. Obviously, it's gonna be a long process, a long journey of planting, watching it all bloom, but there's nothing like that feeling of finally starting something that you've wanted to do for so long. And so I feel accomplished, I feel great, and I can't wait to see how it all comes up. Anyway, thanks for being here on this journey. If you're a hobby mom like me, if you love Jesus like me, you should consider subscribing if you're not already. And if you are, hey girl, I'll talk to you in the comments. Anyway, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
I see things behind things behind things, and there are rings within rings within rings.